The Philippines' financial technology, or FinTech for short, is becoming the new norm for the country. People are rapidly transitioning from using cash to using apps that power the cashless society. This is happening everywhere, from the smallest stores such as Sari-Sari and to the biggest malls on the island nation. The land's biggest fintech company, GCash, reported that in 2021, the country registered way over 3.8 trillion pesos in transaction value, or around $74 billion. But just in 2020, the app reported nowhere near, as it only had 1.2 trillion pesos or $23 billion in transaction value. So how did the Philippines transform its overall financial industry in just such a small amount of time? Was it just because of the COVID lockdowns, or was it through strong strategic governance by the GCash company? Moreover, what does the future look like? Well, before we move on, don't forget to leave us a like and subscribe for more. The Philippines' reliance on fintech was never really that big in the past, unlike other countries that transitioned years before. Unlike other countries that transitioned many years ago, the Philippines only did so in the past few. In 2017, the entire nation only had 2.2 million active e-money accounts, but in 2021, it now has around 55 million. While the growth of fintech, as many believe, was driven by the COVID lockdown, we believe it wasn't the only driver, as it was also in 2019, prior to the pandemic, that e-payments were surging already. In that year, close to 18 million people had active e-money accounts. This strong move to digital was partly because of the superb execution of the so-called GCash app, the country's leading fintech application that has an extensive amount of financial services. The company behind the application is called Mynt, and it is also the country's first ever unicorn enterprise, or $1 billion or more in valuation as a startup. Mynt is a startup partnership, however, not by a group of highly intelligent individuals, but backed by three huge corporations, namely Globe Telecom, Ayala Corporation, two of which reside in the Philippines, and Ant Financial, China's leading digital payment and the one behind Alipay, which is also renowned to be founded by no other than Jack Ma. Mynt so far has two services. The first is GCash, and the second is Fuse, a lending platform. Currently, the startup is valued at $2 billion after it raised over $300 million from several investors around the world. This has placed the company as one of the most exciting startups to watch in Southeast Asia. Although Mynt is the leading fintech corporation in the country, it is not the only one operating in the nation. A company called PayMaya, which has 38 million users, is also a substantial mover in this category. And just like Mynt, this enterprise is backed by the country's largest corporations as well. This, along with 216 fintech companies operating in the land, are continually helping transform the very lives of Filipinos to become more global. Services on the island nation are growing, from insurtech, wealth tech, blockchain, crowdfunding. The rapid emergence of companies serving these categories are the reason why innovation is taking place, and it helps shift every Filipino's decision to go digital. The future of fintech, on the other hand, is just going to get bigger. By 2023, the Central Bank of the Philippines predicts that 50% of the total retail transactions will be done through digital, and 70% of Filipino adults will be financially included. This is going to be a big mover to the financial system, as there are still a number of Filipino adults that are unbanked, but it is all going to change due to the lower barrier of entry for fintech. What's going to be the helm of financial technologies, however, we believe is cryptocurrency. The society's blockchain potential is ripe for innovation. A study found that the Philippines is one of the leading adopters of this emerging disruption, as the citizens slowly realize the potential of it to become an income-generating and value of crypto. Even the Philippine Stock Exchange, local banks, stated that they have plans to promote cryptocurrencies as assets or for trading. These are all propelling the Philippines as a country ripe for innovation in the financial technology space. Disrupting the status quo in this industry will also place more emphasis on other emerging technologies. As this sector continues to emerge as a place filled with innovation, we will see more of these moving the entire country's economy further.